This is a 1961 Gibson J45. Can you believe as the time I'm recording this, next year this guitar is turning 60 years old, and it is an amazing guitar. As you can see, it's been through quite a lot. I've actually made a couple videos about this guitar. I will link them below. I have created an impulse response pack based on this guitar so that you can have some of the magic of this instrument, and it is magic, built into the direct output of your acoustic guitar. So before I go into what the IRs are and how they work, I want to show you a little sample of what they can do for you. I'm going to give you an example of this guitar mic'd with a nice sounding microphone. Then I'm going to let you listen to the direct sound without the impulse response applied. And then I'm going to show you what it sounds when you turn the impulse response on. What I hope you hear is that it gets you a lot closer to the mic'd sound of the guitar. So simply what impulse responses can do for you and for your acoustic guitar is make it sound more like this guitar mic'd with a really good microphone and some great EQs and things on it. It's a WAV file that you can use in a variety of hardware and software applications to make your direct sound just sound a whole lot better. So the way that we made these IRs is I recorded this guitar with a lot of different microphones. I used some modeling microphones to get some models of really high-end, very expensive, I would say unattainable for a normal like myself, microphones, and they really do sound really good. So we take those mic'd reference sounds and then we match them to the direct output of various different acoustic guitars with a wide range of pickups. I'm going to show you some of those guitars here in a bit, and I'm going to play those guitars with the IR applied and show you how much of a difference it can make for you. So the first example I want to show you is this late 90s Takamine. It's an FD360 SC. That's the model number. I've had it since the late 90s, or maybe right around 2000. Anyway, it has this old Takamine digital preamp system in it, but really at its heart, it's got a piezo pickup underneath this saddle. We use this guitar to make one of the piezo options that you will get in this pack. So with this IR pack, you will get different pickup options for each microphone setting. And we've given you a couple of what I call SB or soundboard options. That would be like an LR Baggs Anthem or like a Taylor Expression System. Anything that's not a piezo where you're mounting transducer pickups under the soundboard of the guitar. K&K Pure Western would be an example of that. But if you have a piezo equipped guitar, which probably the majority of acoustic guitars out there are, you're going to want to try one of the 3 PZ options, and I'm going to show you one with this guitar. So I'm going to play this guitar, and you're going to hear it direct, and then you're going to hear it with the impulse response applied to it. Okay, so the next example I want to show you is this orange wood. What model is this? The Brooklyn Live, the Orangewood Brooklyn Live. This is a very inexpensive guitar. It actually sounds and plays really nice acoustic, but it has a pretty cheap pickup system in it. It's got a pretty low-end piezo system in it. You're going to hear, when you hear this thing direct without anything applied to it, it doesn't sound great. And maybe you have a more budget-friendly acoustic guitar that when you play it live, it sounds really thin, metallic-y, quacky, gross. You're going to hear that in this guitar, but when you apply the IR to it, it makes it sound much more like a well-mic'd acoustic guitar. Now, it's not magic. It's not going to make this guitar magically sound just like this guitar mic'd, but what I think you will hear is that you get a little bit of the warm, really, woody overtone character of that Gibson in the direct out of this guitar, and it just makes it sound a lot better. For the final example, I want to show you what these IRs sound like with this Martin D35 acoustic guitar. This would be an example of a pretty high-end acoustic guitar, dreadnought style, which is the most popular body style out there. And this guitar has an LR Baggs Anthem installed. I know a lot of you players, acoustic players, put anthems in your guitars for good reason. It is my favorite pickup system. I think it sounds great. What I think you're gonna find though is when you apply the IR from that Gibson J45, that vintage guitar, it gives you some of that vibe and character that you get from that guitar to the direct out from the Anthem system, and it just makes it sound a lot better. So what you get with this IR pack is 6 different acoustic pickup options for each microphone type. You're going to see them SB1, SB2, SB3, which is a blend of 1 and 2, and those were made using the direct output of guitars, again with the soundboard transducer type pickups, in this case LR Baggs Anthem pickups. 1 is going to sound warmer, 2 is going to sound brighter, 3, the blend, is going to be kind of in the middle. You're going to get PZ 1, 2, and 3 options for each microphone type as well, and those were made with the direct output from acoustic guitars with piezo pickups. You also get them in 4 different bitrate options. You get 44.1, you get 48K, you get 88.2K, and you get 96K. And the reason we've done that is certain software applications and hardware require different ones. If you're curious about that, if you've got anything line 6, you want to use 48K. The 48K is sort of the native resolution that these are recorded in, so that's the one I would use. If you are using something like a Strymon Iridium, it requires you, all of them at 24-bit by the way, it requires you to use 96K IRs. So that's why we've included all those different options. To me, they don't really sound any different when you go one versus the other. A lot of times when you get IRs, you get different length options. We've just included one. It's about 360 millisecond IR file, and I find it works well. It's not a reverb, so you don't need a really long tail or anything like that. So for the most part, you can drag, I would start with the 48K versions, and then you can just drag them into whatever you want that accepts a wave IR file. So we have tested these in all the Line 6 hardware. PodGo, you can do it in PodGo, Helix, Helix Native, HX Stomp, HX Effects. If you're using anything older like the HD500X, it won't work. But we have tested in all the Line 6 hardware, tested it in the Axe Effects, which is what we're using today for this demo. The FM3, it works. Tested it in the Moore Radar. It works. In that little $100 pedal, that's probably the most accessible, cheapest way to get this like in a live rig is to use something like the Moore Radar. It will load an IR. Sounds really cool. For Kemper, and you can just fire up Rig Manager and drag and drop those wave IRs into the cabinet section, and it will automatically convert them for you. Really simple. And there's all kinds of software out there that you can use to load an IR. Really popular one if you're an Apple Logic user is the Space Designer Reverb. A lot of reverbs will let you load IRs. Just turn the dry mix down to 0 and the wet mix up to 100 and see how it sounds. That's how I would do it. Or you can pull in some of that dry if you want to mix in some of the direct out with the IR output. So IRs can be used in all kinds of different ways, all kinds of different applications and hardware. Let me know below if you have questions about what you can use these in. If I know the answer, I will, to the best of my knowledge, I will let you know. But acoustic IRs are like the closest thing to magic that I have experienced in the music world in a long time. So just to summarize, this really is magical guitar. I feel extremely lucky to be able to own this guitar, play this guitar. I'm also lucky, I kind of feel like I hit the jackpot as well because this thing is so nice to play. It plays so well and it sounds so good. A lot of times with vintage instruments, you don't quite know what you're getting into. This is a good one, and I'm excited to be able to let you experience some of the magic of this guitar with your guitars using these impulse responses. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.